How's it going? My name is Brent from Encore PPF and Tint, and today we are working on a Alfa Romeo 4C. And this is a 2015 model, although they were the same from whatever year they started making them up to, I believe they quit making them in 2020. We're going to be putting bulking some paint protection film onto this rear bumper. And I don't want to do it. I don't. I can't decide if I'm going to need to put a seam right here as a relief cut, so that it's not so much that I can fold so that I can fold this over. It's going to be able to get rid of some fingers I believe are going to be stuck with right in this area here. There's also some issues to deal with around this tail light, because we want to wrap in a ways which isn't going to make it all the way to the tail light. That's not happening. But when I stretch this across, this tail light protrudes, and so it's going to keep the material from laying flat on the rear bumper, and it's going to hit like this and then want to stay unstuck, like probably right in this area here. And then you have to be really careful with a situation like that, because if you go and you trim when there's tension on it, that releases the tension, and then it's going to leave a line right there in the adhesive, and I'm trying to avoid something like that. Also, as we come across, I'm thinking if I bring the material over and then kind of down, that'll help here as far as getting rid of the extra material, but it's going to put a lot of tension in this area, and that'll work fine, probably all in here. But the extra tension here is going to make the material basically not lay into this recess here. And then so we're gonna have, you know, an air pocket that's probably gonna go from here and then open up bigger all through this area. And I think we can deal with that. That's not a huge problem. So I think that's gonna be the case, is to bring the material across. And then just be careful of these guys, because as you're pulling the material, if it's scraping across there, it's going to leave distortions in the adhesive. And then when we come over this direction, we're gonna kind of try to pull downwards a bit. Anyway, mentally, that's just like the things that I'm thinking about with this. And then we will be cutting around these, so the material will just get trimmed right here. It'll come in, wrap just past this edge, and then back like this. It'll come around and probably stop somewhere like right here. And then these will be done in separate pieces. This is definitely going to be something that's going to need a relief cut. So this section will get covered, this will get wrapped, and then more than likely there will be a seam somewhere right in here that will allow then this piece to fold over and lay flat. And then we'll lay one flat piece here. And that's that. I mean, you know, so it just seems that easy. Just seems that easy. Let's see if this actually goes like I think it's gonna go, and if I'm gonna have those situations like I think I'm going to have. Terrific. Let's get started. All right, so I've got this laying on here now, and we've got a huge finger here and a solid finger here to try and stretch out. So look at that. But I mean, I noticed that, you know, I do know that this needs to come down a little bit, and that'll help this one. That'll increase this size of this one, but help get rid of this one a little bit. Let's go ahead and just get started, because talking isn't going to get this done. I'm going to go ahead and trim out a little bit of this excess here and just keep it in a nice U shape. And then we'll see if this even needs to be trimmed out more, or if this is going to be a good amount. And I'm going to go ahead and start in the middle and then work my way around. So that way I can then do the same, you know, basically just duplicate this install. I don't think stretching this all at one time is necessarily going to be the way to go. That's just what, my thought on it. Could also probably get rid of a little bit of material here. Oops, if we do that though, how are we gonna come over to like about here? I'm gonna go ahead and go like this, and then come in a little bit to kind of get rid of some of this bump here. And then we'll just come over and we'll see how that works. Okay. All right, so all these fingers here are totally, we could wrap those in. Those aren't going to be any issue at all. All of this is all going to be able to be handled with no problem. So let's see how we want to start here. Ooh. All right. It's a little chilly in here today. And of course I'm low on tack solution to start this install. That's a great idea. That's how I like to start all my installs. I don't know why I do that to myself. Okay. Let's go ahead and tack this right onto this part. That way we're not tacking to the bumper that, you know, the face of this rear bumper yet. Other than up here, obviously. All right, let's see what kind of stretch we can get and what kind of stretch we're gonna need on this part here. So a lot of fingers left in here. So let's see if we bring this down a little bit. Let's see, where's this gonna go? That can go up some, which will create more fingers on top though if it goes up. And then can we get rid of those by stretching down? Actually, it looks like that might work somewhere in this, something like that might work. Okay, so let's get some tack up in this area. It looks like it's kind of already starting to stick a little bit, which would be great. Let's see. Oh, pop loose. Okay. Just make sure we're not getting it. I don't want any of that tack on the actual fender. Or I'm sorry, bumper. I want it all on the fender. All right, so let's take care of this part first. Some of that stuck down, then we'll bring this downward here and try to get rid of some of these lines going this way. Okay, now that has, let's see what we can do with this. That's going to be an issue right here. Maybe we can tack to this part of the bottom. It's got like a smoother piece on it. Looks like it's tacking down to that pretty good. And actually, might just be able to take most of this here, kind of tack over towards that parking sensor. Okay. All right, we definitely need to get something to tack down here back onto this part here, because we don't want these lines to stay here, because those are going to be distortions. Oh man, I am just a real genius here with this tack solution and not refilling these. All right, we've already got huge lift line here, which isn't gonna work. Okay, all right, let's see what we can do here. Come on now, work with me, baby. All right, what if we just let it sit like that and we just go take care of some other parts? Okay, so good sized finger there, but that's because we let this go and gave us a lot of, we released a lot of tension on one of the stretches that came from this area. All right, we've got to get some more tack here. Tack up here on the fender. Like this. Okay, and actually if we're going to keep that like that, let's go ahead and get this down here. We're going to get a lot of pre-tacking right here. Okay, so let's go back to the tacking up here. We're gonna go back that way a bit. And try to kind of get this to flatten out and get rid of some of the lines going that way. Okay. Now this is giving us more fingers down here on the bottom. So what we're gonna do is try to stretch that a little bit this direction. Down a little and back towards us. We're gonna try to make this very minimal amount of stretch though. Oh, but look at that finger. That's okay, we can break that guy up, I think. Or we'll just add a little more stretch. There we go. Okay, now let's see how this goes. We're gonna be tacking to this part. And then let's see if we can tack to this. It's kind of a textured plastic, so that's a lot of tension right there now. But let's see if we can work with it. Okay, so we're gonna need to push this down in order to, we need to get rid of this air that's in here. How's that gonna stay? Not well. Let's go ahead and trim some of this out around this bulge on this light. Okay, that was hugely helpful right there. So, at this point, let's see if we can just kind of pull this in. Now, are we going to be able to get that to stay down? I don't know. It's going to want to continue to pop up right here. So let's see what we can do. I'm going to add some tack in there. Okay, so that went good. I like that. Do a swipe and hold on this and see if we can keep that to stay there. You stay. Okay, and then let's take this part and at least get some of this to stick all the way up into the trunk. Just putting a lot of tension in this area here. So I'm going to do a little bit more of a relief cut in here. Okay. Just keep working our way down. Add some tack in here. Okay, let's get this part down first, and then look at that. We've got something underneath the material, of course. Okay, let's see if we can just squeegee this right out. All right, well that's good. It's got to squeegee it out to where we're this area. That's so far so good. Okay, we are getting pre-tagging in here, I'm sure. Let's see what that looks like. Actually, it all looks very manageable, which is good. Let's go ahead and what can we do here? There's a little bit more air and stuff left in here than I want there to be, so I'm gonna go ahead and lift this back up just a little bit and get some more slip in here. Okay. I've got a good finger right here that we need to get rid of. So there we go. That should work good for that. And there might have been a little bit of tack over here, so let's go ahead and squeegee this part out. There. Let's see. Nope, that wasn't it. Okay. There we go. Okay, that all looks good. Okay, let's get this all down. And then let's get this down now. Okay. Make sure we've got everything out of this recess here. Okay, let's take a look at this top now. So we're looking really good across here, and that's great. We've got some fingers that, you know, some things that might be an issue right here, and I'm not sure how much of an issue yet that they're going to be. It looks all very manageable. So let's go ahead and see if we can squeegee out like up to like somewhere right in here. So that's gonna require some tack in here. So I'm just kind of filling this area and then watching it run down into here. Make sure I've got plenty of it in there. All right, and I'm just running into that recess and then holding, and then we'll see if that's good enough to keep that down. If it's not, then we're gonna, well, let's just do a little bit of this anyway. We're gonna release some of this tension off of the fender now so that we can get that wrapped in at the bumper area really well. I'm not going to, I don't know how much it's even sticking right there, but I'm gonna leave that part. Okay, great. Just keep moving along. All right, now we need to get rid of this big old air pocket. Ooh, with a different chair. I gotta fix this one or replace it. All right, so that is, you know, a lot That actually goes down pretty good though. Okay, you know what? Huh. If we get this stretched out right, it looks like it's going pretty good. It's very easy to leave stretch marks in. Yeah, this didn't really stay stuck down too good to the bottom of this bumper here, or this plastic piece. So it's kind of starting to pop up here. Let's see if we can get that to stay down. Like right there would be great. Well, not anymore, but it popped up a little. All right, that would be awesome. This needs a little more. So something like that would be great. And if that could just stay down, that'd be great. Okay. No, it's just gonna keep popping up right here underneath the I mean, if I'm we gotta get to work on other parts here. I'm more than willing to leave a distortion in the adhesive right here over getting a distortion in the adhesive somewhere that's much more visible. So we're gonna hope that this keeps it down now. We're gonna call that good. Okay, so this actually looks like it went pretty well. Let's go ahead and try and get rid of some of this excess. And you can see here, if you actually pull up a little bit, it actually kind of gets rid of that extra little finger that was right there. But let's go ahead and get rid of some of this slip solution. So it's moving kind of fast there because it's going to want to just continue to travel back down. The slip solution is. Okay. Now what we need in here is tack. Okay, got some in there now. Let's see if that ends up being enough. So you can see it running down into here, which is great. So let's get this guy back. That way we don't have anything continuing to run down. Okay. See that we don't have any moisture running down here, so we can go ahead and start way up here to push this stuff out. Okay, so that guy there, let's see, he wants some more tack solution. And then I am gonna lift up a little bit on that so that when I push it into that recess, it'll go into that recess a little deeper and hopefully grab that edge. Okay. Now this one is popping up still, so we're gonna need the same thing. More tack in there. Okay. All right, and look at that stayed kind of down. I see it is kind of trying to pinch on that corner and come up, but so far so good. Okay, and let's get tack all in here. Get this down. And then let's see what we can do up here. I do believe we're gonna have to relieve the tension off this fender. Let's see if that's true or not. Well, I'm gonna keep an eye on that. See if that's too much tension for that to just stick down. It did tuck in quite a ways there, which is great. So maybe that's gonna stay down just fine. Okay, look at that. All right, okay. Let's get around this guy and then we're gonna work on this tail light, which I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do with. I need a new blade. Okay. So, you know, this is gonna be, this one's like a double edge right here, kind of double-edged sword. I don't know, you know, it would have been nice to be able to take care of this guy earlier. So we're gonna hope that as we relieve this tension that we don't leave stretch marks around this, but it's entirely possible that that's exactly what's gonna happen. But we don't want any tack in this area if possible until after we've made the cut. Let's see if I got deep enough there. Okay. I'm gonna put a little bit of tug on this to get rid of that finger, and I mean just a tiny bit of tug. So just a tiny bit of tension there. Okay, that looks great. I'm gonna see if anything wants to pop up. I force in a little tack in there. Everything looks like it wants to stay down well. Great. I'm gonna come over here. And just wet things down. Get rid of that pre-tacking. It's been sitting for quite a while. I'll go ahead and leave that sitting there and get back to work. Okay, so tail lights. The good news is that we're running completely around this body line here, which is awesome, because that's an area you could leave a little bit of a mark in a little distortion in the adhesive, and it wouldn't be such a big deal. If it was like up here, it'd be much more obvious. So let's see here what we can do with this. All right, we want as much coverage as we can get, but let's not get too crazy, right? Because we're only gonna get so much out of this. I mean, I could see wrapping down in there. Yeah, we don't want to get too much. There is another body line in here, right there. You know, that's very, it's not as pronounced, but it's there. It'd be nice if we could run that line really well. But let's go ahead and start trimming this out. I don't know. Let's see if we can. It's just gonna get real tight in here, and there's no way we're getting all the way to the tail light. I don't believe. You could tell me different in the comments if you think you can make that all the way to the tail light without just having massive stretch marks and issues, work marks in the adhesive. I think it's better to do less in this specific circumstance than it is to do more. All right, so when I'm cutting this, I'm actually kind of watching this spacing here and trying to keep an eye on that spacing. Obviously it's changing a lot right now. That was just kind of to help me know where I'm at and to keep this line really, really straight. Otherwise we're gonna have to come back and cut it again, which wouldn't be the end of the world, but you know, if we can avoid that, let's avoid that. Okay, so let's see. Battery exhausted. It's a very tired battery. And we're definitely trying to get some good footage of this, but at the same time, you know, I'm trying to keep you guys out of my way on this one, because it's definitely most important that this comes out great. And I apologize if this video, you know, isn't quite what some of the other ones are as far as coverage. I mean, I'd love to show you guys how to, you know, think this stuff through and get this type of stuff done. Let's keep an eye on areas like this here from popping back up. We don't want that, because when those start to dry like that, then we're going to run into issues. So it's coming up too here. Well, just a tiny bit. Some good pressure in there. Really try to get that to tuck into that recess between the two. Ooh, that one did good. Okay, that one went in there pretty far as well this time. I don't like this either. We're gonna have to just release this tension now as we work our way down. Okay, so let's come back over here. Can you see this down here? Yeah, barely. Okay. Okay, so let's work our way down here again. All right, let's get a bunch of tack in there. Let's tuck these in. Okay, that's actually gonna work out great now. We're not gonna have issues with that trying to come back up, I don't believe. All right, let's finish up this taillight and get over to the other side. All right, let's follow this line now, down a bit. Come on, Brent, you gotta cut it. Okay, well we're just gonna kind of go around here. I'm gonna try and get all the way back to that next line. You're not gonna be able to see it right now, probably in the video, but I believe that's doable. All right, so first things first. Let's see, what are the first things first? Let's see if we can get this down. Now we don't want this popping up a bunch of times as part of the thing. The more times this pops up, the more work marks are gonna get in the adhesive. So I'm gonna add some tack in here now. And I'm gonna kind of push this down into place, and then we're gonna work our way down to this. So actually, it would have been nice to have like this part already stuck down, like that, because otherwise that's gonna continue. This part's gonna make this part peel back up, if that makes sense. Same over here. Would have been nice to have a spot already stuck down. Okay. Oh man, that's going great. We're just gonna keep working our way up and around. We don't want to let this here sit for too long. We've got to keep moving on it. Okay, some tack in here. Uh-oh. That's gonna want to leave a mark. Okay, it didn't. We took care of it plenty quick enough. That's good. Alright, GoPro battery down. Okay, now what I'm going to do is dry this. Oops, look at, I left a little pocket of water right there. Right? Yeah, a little pocket of water. Let's see if we can, because there, we used tack in there. I'm not sure I'll be able to do anything with that. Let's see though. Shame on me. Oh, shame on me. So I was able to bring that up to an area with that doesn't, we're not going to push it out so far. If that makes sense. Okay, that went well. All right, I think it's all out now. Feel it anyway, so I think we're in great shape. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. So what I'd like to do with this is just get down into this recess just a little bit better. Before we move on to the other side. All right, let's see if we can do some of that with, nope. Okay, let's get rid of some of this tension here. Okay. Be very careful because that will tear where I stopped right there because I didn't do like a half moon or a circle. So just keep that in mind. And then we are going to go ahead and not leave that like that. Let's go ahead. Actually, you know what I think I can do here is just continue that right where it's at as a tear and bring it back around. Booyah. Okay. All right, I don't know if you guys can see this in here and if it's been noticeable, but I just wanted to let you know that there is a run in the paint right here. So, you know, certain things are me, but that one's not. Okay, let's move on. Double check down here. Looks like we're starting to come up a little bit. Let's see what we can do with that. I'm gonna trim some of this off and then trim some of, let's see, let's get a little closer to it actually. Trim some of this off like that. Will that help? Okay, actually got that tucked in. I think I got that tucked in pretty good to the, in between the two panels. I really shouldn't have a problem with that now. Trim this off next time on the other side earlier. Let's pull this back again and get rid of some of this pre-tacking that I'm sure is going to be on there. Okay, second half, huh? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get this stretch over here. First, let's release some of this. So we kind of know in this area we don't need a lot of stretch. That's not really going to matter for over here, is it though? Let's see, what if there's nowhere to really come and tack to over here where we aren't going to leave stretch marks. I am just going to go ahead and bring us all the way over to about here. Like right in here, and then we'll give this a few seconds to set up. That way, if we do end up with some stretch marks right here, we can lift it up back into some of this area because it's only just been put down with soap. That we'll be able to lift it up a little bit and hopefully get rid of any distortions there. All right, let's see what we can do. So last time, I don't know, it almost looks like we could make it all the way to there. This lays in really nice, doesn't it? Okay, but we're just gonna continue with the same thing we did last time because that went well. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and tack just a little bit to this part here. And then let's get this stretch on. And actually, we're gonna do the same thing right here. Just up in the area where the trunk closes into. All right. Okay, let's get a little tack in here. And then we'll get this held in place as well with my hand, and then we'll come back. We need to make sure that we're going to get enough stretch out of this. So that looks good right there. Although, let's see. Oh yeah, when we pull up on that, all that looks good. Okay, so let's see if we can get this to stay right there. Stay. Okay, and then now this bottom part. Okay. So this line here, I just want to make sure we'll get rid of that. Okay, we can pull up to that, no problem. Let's go ahead and get a little bit more tack down here, just on this bottom part. That looks like that's staying down pretty good. Okay, this did pop up, but that's fine. We've got plenty of stretch in there. We've got the same situation we had last time in this area, which is fine. Let's see what we can do with all this. Okay. You can see I am pulling this back a little bit, just like I said I was going to do. And actually, that all looks really good. So we're just gonna start squeegeeing this out. Okay. So I kept pulling this back right here just to kind of see how far could I come back and where was going to leave, you know, the least amount of distortion in the adhesive. And it, you know, really honestly, it looks like I could just come all the way back to the original spot. And this line here. Okay, since this is now going to be where we're going to be, let's go ahead and get rid of some of this tension really quick around this light where it's going to tack itself to this light. And remember, we want a rounded edge on all these. Okay. Now let's see what we've got here. So let's get some more slip in there. That lays down really good. What does that leave us here then on the top? Leaves us a little bit of a finger there. That seems manageable though. I'm gonna put just a little bit of tension on this though, towards this direction. And then we'll tack this down, which I believe is exactly what we did last time. Okay. Then, uh-oh, don't go back too far though, hang on. We probably should have placed this before. Let's get rid of this, any pre-tacking around this light again. Okay, so what we need to know is that we don't want this really going up much, because we want to make sure and get that good rounded edge, which that looks good right there. So I'm going to go ahead and squeegee across this. And then this time we're just going to move right to squeegeeing this into this recess. So some tack in there. Some slip on top. All right, get that nice and tacked into that groove there. All right, let's see what we can do here now. We're gonna lift this up, make sure we're not getting pre-tacking right here, which that does look good. So, got a good, it's nice that this is stuck down here because that'll allow us to be able to push this, pull this back. And then squeegee all this air out. Let's see how we want to do this now. we could probably see if we can get rid of a little bit of it. Sorry. Let's see if we can get rid of a little bit of it with our hand. Oh, Brent, don't do that. That was looking real good. Okay, the thing I don't like now though is that we're gonna push this down without any tack solution in there. Last time I think that was a great thing that we were able to do, was have tack in there. That'll keep it from wanting to come right back up. So what we're gonna need to do is get some tack back here where it's gonna wanna come up. Let it come up a little bit. Just get a bunch of tack in there. Okay. So you can see that easily popped right back up. Okay, great. Now, while I did a swipe and hold on that, to keep that in place, we're going to get rid of a little bit of this tension. Okay, I'm going to tear this part back, and then we are going to tear this back up, like so. Okay. A little bit more tack up in this spot here. Then let's push that over the edge and do a swipe and hold. All right. A lot of water in there, but that's fine. Or slip solution anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and do like we did last time. We're gonna need to lift this back up and unfree-tack some of this. Okay. Oh no, Brent. See, now if we had used tack in this area like we did last time, none of that would have happened. That's okay, because we didn't use tack. It's fine that it happened. We're able to squeegee that right back out without leaving any marks or distortions. Okay, now we need to get rid of this line here, which is just an easy little tiny tug back down towards this bottom corner. We're gonna get some tack in here. Okay, that's great. And then we're gonna squeegee this out. Okay, and we'll get all this part squeegeed out. Great. I'll come back and deal with that later. Swipe this out. See if we can get this to kind of stay down like we did last time a little bit. Okay, so that is actually trapped in. So what we're gonna wanna do is let some of this out as we come around with this swipe. So I'm gonna lift up here just a little bit. You see how that broke that right back open? And we're gonna swipe this out and then lay this back down. Okay. And it's not so important that we get rid of all of it right now. We just want this area over here that we're working in. All right, make sure that you've gotten all of the slip out of the areas that we're working on right now. Okay. Okay, now it'd be nice just to let some of this stuff, if we can do this without breaking anything else loose, it'd be nice if we could let some of this slip out. Okay. All right, let's get a little bit of tack on this part. And actually, we kind of let air in there too, which really wasn't the... I don't really want the air in there. I'd rather have the slip in there than the air. But it looks like we could just push it right back out. Okay, and let's get this back down. And then we're gonna take all this stuff back up, but let's get this squeegeed out, away from the light. This type of area, because of all the tension on it, it's definitely gonna start tacking down first. Just so you know that. That's hard to get that whole area in a video. What are we zoomed in? Oh yeah, we were, okay. I was like, what's going on here? Okay. Okay, let's bring some of this over. Okay. Let's see here. So bring this up. No problem. We have, let's just double check and make sure, you know, everything looks like it's floating around real good, except for right along this edge, which is okay. And let's see if we could even just get that to pop up. Okay, great. All right, now let's start working this stuff up. Okay, double check everything. Just take this stuff down. Check these recesses here. Okay. Now we're gonna get tack in here. All right, we gotta keep an eye on this tack because it's gonna wanna run down because we didn't put any tack down here. So let's go ahead and bring these back up. Get these into the recess here. Just kind of double checking for any slip solution left behind. Everything's looking good. All right, now let's just go ahead and really get this pushed down into, and actually before we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and, do I care about this right now? Yeah, I do. We're gonna tack this down this time first. When I was spraying in here, I sprayed some water or some of the tack solution out into there, so we want to bring that back. Don't leave that out there. Okay, just a tiny bit of tension here. Make sure that we're laying down nice and flat, even. Okay, so that all looks really good now. And before we get to that, I'm gonna take care of this parking sensor this time a little bit sooner. Let's see here. Okay, let's cut this out real quick. Oh, don't, make it as quick as you can, but don't get crazy fast, because we don't want to make a mistake. Oh, okay, that's not going to be a good tear line. Well, this one? Let's see. Nope. Let's see if we can work our way out to our line. And then tear it. Yep. Okay, that's good. Okay. That worked for one direction, but did not work for the other direction. So, squeegee a little bit of this out. What's this mark right here? Little tiny hair. We don't want that. Okay. Okay. Now we can put a little tack in there. Actually, I'm just going to, there's a little bit of a trim that's going to need to be done right here, but this is staying down now that this is all cut out. This part is staying down. Otherwise, before, if we had just tried to push up against this with all the tension in here, it wouldn't have stayed down, but it is now, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. We're going to move back up to the top there. And that little piece of lint is gone, which is great. Okay, back up here to the top. So we're going to start pulling back off of the fender and pushing further down into the recess. Okay. Okay, looking good so far. Just keep working our way down doing that. All right, and then right down into this last one. Can I get a little tack in there first? Yep, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and push that in there and then pull this back. And now we're pushed down in there real nice. Okay. Let's get this corner real good in there. Okay. All right, great. I know, some of you are probably like, why is it taking so long? I promise I've bulk stuff before. It's not my first time. Okay, let's get a little bit of slip in here to make sure that we don't have any pre-tacking going on. I mean, we're already pre-tacking to the light, so. Oh, this one feels a bit tighter. Okay, but maybe it's not though, we'll see. So that's at the level it needs to be, which is a bummer. Because it's really hard. It's really hard when you're cutting around something like this to come to a tiny little sliver right there. So that's too bad, but it is what it is, and it's gonna be fine. We can work with it. Okay, so we know we need to be in about that far right here. So somewhere in this area here. Let's see if we can get you a different angle this time. Look, we're in the final stretches. We're in the final stretches. So, all I'm saying, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I don't want to jinx myself. I'll say it after I cut the light out. Okay, that actually went really well. I mean, you could see here that that curve isn't quite as good as it should have been if I had left this. It comes down a little bit, but that's gonna be fine. It's just, you know, I would have preferred it not be like that. Okay, then we're gonna bring this one down. Let's see, I'm not sure. We're all the way to right here. We're gonna start making sure we get some good curvature back up real quick here. Okay, let's see. Kind of gonna get in each other's way now with the camera. So hopefully GoPro gets all this footage here, or maybe this other camera will be fine. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on this here again. Okay, I said those little slivers were tough. They didn't go that bad. Ha! All right. All right. We do have some, you know, this is different than it was last time with these fingers here. So let's see, let's get those guys out and then we'll work this way. Your finger in there and hold that down. I want that to keep popping back up. All right, let's go ahead and tack a guy here now, over and around the edge if it will. Not really. Well, we might. Nope. Nope. Okay. Nope. Okay, hang on. Let's try doing like this and go back like that. I think the problem is that we've got some slip solution that was still sitting down there on the bottom. Okay, that's good. Let's make sure this very edge has got everything pulled out of it as well, because last time up in this area we did leave, you know, I say we. I like we at that point. Oh, I did a great job there. But if there was a problem, oh, you know, we left a little water on this edge last time. That's definitely a we situation. All right. There's probably somebody that's done this bumper a ton of times, and they're like, oh, you could have made this so much easier on yourself. That's probably true. But as long as we get a good final result, that'll be good. It's all really that matters. Okay. Oh, I'm very pleased, actually, I must say. I'm very pleased with what we've done. Okay. Terrific. It's all dried out. Everything's all stuck down. Let's get this in here around the license plate again. All right, just double checking, making sure everything's staying off of the main face of the bumper. That's looking good. So let's go ahead and tuck down into this recess again. It's just leaving an air pocket still. Okay. Which I don't think is really that big of a deal in the very recess, because I don't plan on getting all the way into that recess anyway. But let's see what we can do. Okay, so all that is looking really good, all the way down into that recess, which is nice. All right, now let's trim this again here like we did last time. I'm just kind of tearing it closer to this recess, and then we'll come back around. There we go. That way we can get a nice little tug on that and not have it, you know, hitting real hard on this part that's sticking out. Okay, that's good. Beautiful. Okay, and then looks like it can wrap around just a little bit, and then there's lights there. So let's just leave, you know, maybe a 1/4 inch hanging off. I'm gonna put a line in here. Let's see, a relief cut anyway coming this direction. That seems good enough for this. Let's wrap this in place. Okay, great. I'm just gonna trim around these pieces here. Let's get a new blade. Nope, nope, nope. Don't want to go off that way. Okay, let's see what happens when we tear this. I'm gonna hope it follows that line, but we don't know for sure, do we? Oh, look at that though. This other one decided to tear. Great. Okay. Okay, oh, it's right there. Okay, we don't want to mess that up. Let's not mess that up. Okay. All right, might as well bring this all the way over, just like we did the other side. Tiny pull on it. Okay. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start a cut to go the rest of the way. Right where this one finished. And when I get to here, I'm gonna go ahead and go through the material, give myself a nice tear line. And meet in the middle, huh? Beauty. And then I will end up just on these two coming straight down. All right, let's go ahead and trim this area out. I do want to wrap this over. So we will end up cutting out like right about here. And then actually, let's see, there's a lot of tension here. You know, I just don't want to leave too much tension on this type of area. But we are, so let's do this, okay? So let's say we're gonna go to about like right here, and then we're gonna go, well, let's see what we can do. Let's leave like, let's just do this part first, since it's kind of getting in our way. Okay, and this corner, I don't want it to look like that. I want it to be more of a 45. So scissors are the easiest for this type of, you know, type of thing. Like that. Make sure we're all the way back to the body. Okay, great. So we're also going to need to trim right down in this line here. Okay, and then we'll get back to that. Let's tuck that back down though. Okay. If you see right there, I've got a little bit of silvering right here. But we'll come back and repair that later with a little bit of heat. Okay, let's wrap this over. Some tack solution in there. Okay. So this part is just barely going to go over the edge. I mean, like 1/8 of an inch or so. Just enough to hide it off the front here. And some of this seems like it is more than 1/8, but not much. Okay, then let's come over to about here. And then that's plenty. And then we're gonna go back, we're gonna make a little turn here. And then head back towards the trunk area. Put some tack in here, and then we'll just use a towel to kind of push this over and see what it looks like. And actually, let's just start with and see how things go with the squeegee. Okay. Squeegee worked great. Push this back to that recess there. Okay. And there's quite a bit of tension on it right there, so what I'm going to go ahead and do, just push that back down first. See if we can get that to stick just a little bit. Actually, we can even work our way up to this next area, which should be nice. Okay, so we're going to come across this line right here. All the way across. Yeah, if that seems like it'll work. So we're going to make a little turn here. And we'll come across. Squeegee that out. That looks really good. This is looking good. This is just going to take some heat, and then this is going to stay down. So put some heat on that, push it over. That's going to look great in the end. Let's do the same thing right over here. So once again, we're going to pull some of this out of the recess here. Okay. And this is going to need a cut in it in order to lay down. So I'm going to come that way. Push this down. And then let's continue that thing where we did about 1/8 of an inch over. It's just got real wide right there. Alright, so we came into, let's see, just about the middle of this bolt there. So right about here is where we know we're going to turn and go back up. So let's see, how do we want to start this? Because I came off a little bit here. Kind of looking for another place to start and go back that way. It's not hanging over quite so much. Okay, so let's see, right about this side of it, which would be right about there. So now we're going to make that little turn again. Okay. Let's get some tack in there. Just enough, look at that. We had just enough to make that bend over that edge. Okay. So just kind of trying to see where this is going to end up once it pushes down into this recess here. Let's go ahead and trim right about here. Stay below this. There's another bolt right here. around this corner. No, no, you don't want to tear there. Nope, does not want to tear there. Okay, so then we'll come from this side. Okay, let's get all this tack solution and whatever else is in here out of here. Okay, I feel like we got all the way down into the recess now real well. Just make sure we left nothing on this body line here. Nope. Okay. Okay, we're going to take this up. Okay, great. This area recesses just a little bit more, so try all that out. Okay, let's wrap this up in here. Okay, so watch this. Let's see if that wants to go down. I think it's just going to continue to pop back up though. Well, I'm going to put some heat on it first before I go and do my next step. Forget it, keeping that down. Stay there. Okay. Actually, that looks like it's going to stay down fine. All right, let's finish trimming out something like this one side, and then I'm going to do the other side by myself. I don't know how long that GoPro's been turned off. That's great. All right, let's go ahead and trim this out. I'm going to trim right down into this recess here. Okay. Great. All right. This little guy right here wants to keep popping up. A little bit of heat will keep that down though. Let's go ahead and go down here lower and trim the wheel well. All right, so I'm kind of feeling back in here to see where we've got a little bit of area to wrap some material around in. And we're gonna go ahead and come across just like this. And then we're gonna come out just a little bit. Because there is a flat part in there, although it's a little rough. We'll see it. I think it should stick to it just fine though. We did clean it and prep it with the rubbing alcohol. then once you get down to here, there's a little lip in there, so we're gonna have to come back in. And then let's go around this light here. All right, let's see. Okay, there's nothing, well, let's see. There's the tiniest edge to wrap onto right there. That'd just be absurd. It's gonna be a problem. We're just gonna come out here. And then now we'll make this turn. All right, so on this one, I'm going to go ahead and start here and work my way back the other direction. Okay, let's go ahead and tear this now. Oh. I'm gonna guess out here now. I can see the line. There it goes. Great. Okay, go ahead and squeegee this bottom down. There's a little water bubble right here. Just gonna stick my fingernail underneath there, pull that up a little bit, squeegee that out. There's one right here. Okay. All right, all that looks really good. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull this back right here. Put that up, and then that'll push down. All right, terrific. Well, now we're gonna jump to a clip of me cleaning up a little silvering that we got on the top of this rear bumper, and then we're gonna wrap this up. So I appreciate you guys taking a look. If you found anything useful or helpful, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, so we've got a little bit of silvering right here. Let's go ahead and take care of that. I'm talking to the camera. So I'm gonna put a little bit of heat on it, and then we're just gonna massage it with this bone stick. You can kind of go straight across it. You can go this, just, you know, try different things, I do some swirls a lot, across areas like that. Great. Disappeared. You can start with less pressure and then add more as needed. So